Hey there boys and girls, Lucky Skillfake here and welcome back to another CSGO beginner tutorial. I mean, this time around it's getting a little bit more advanced, but just a tiny little bit, so I think we will eventually settle for more advanced tutorials, but for now, let's talk a little bit more about crosshair placement. I already made a video about it, basically telling you guys not to look at the floor is not your enemy, and basically have your crosshair up. I gave you guys some tips and tricks as to where you should aim, for example, the height of this box, or half the height of a double box, or this box, usually is about the head height, as you can see, of a player model. And that's basically what you're aiming at in regards to the height as you go up. However, there's more important things, or not more important things, but another addition to that that's very important. And that would be basically snapping to walls as well as the enemy. So for example, usually a player with bad crosshair placement, he would be running out like this. Just like this, and he would be kind of using the side of his screen or like a corner of his screen to actually look around and just check the corners. And as you can see, I'm basically swinging like this, and if an enemy would be here or here, I would basically have to swing out and then adjust my spray and fire at him. So that's not recommended at all. What you basically want to do is you want to snap to wall. So basically you're coming from here, and this is basically the first point where you might encounter enemies. So what you do is basically you scan around, like this. You want to have it at the head height. It's a little hard if it's going kind of up the hill, but you get what I mean. And basically what you're doing is you're checking spots one after another. So first this spot right here, then this spot, then you're checking this right here, and then there, this maybe here. So basically what you're doing is you're snapping to walls. Same goes for like when you're kind of scanning for an enemy, so you know he's somewhere jungle connector area right here. So what you do is basically you want to be again as far back from the cover as possible. I explained it in the peekers how to peek tutorial. You can watch it in the description. And basically what you're doing is you're only strafing left and right. You're not moving forwards or backwards, because then it's very hard to actually cancel out with stutter stepping. So what you're doing basically is you have this spot right here, and you just scan around it like this. Scan, scan, scan. And I only did it with shift, so it's a little bit more obvious. But for example, if you're in here as well, you're just scanning around. Scanning, 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 scanning. And you have your crosshair close to this. I mean, you of course could also just look around like this. But as you can see, of course I see him, but I kind of swiped over him. My crosshair placement was all bad. So what you want to do is you want to have it at the same height, and you basically... See? You're already kind of on him. It's a lot easier to snap onto the target like this. So this is the tip that I basically want to give you guys. Make sure that when you're actually looking for enemies, and I have another example at the B side right here, when you're scanning, make sure to check the common spots first. It's basically like pre-aiming, or like pre-firing without firing. So basically checking the spot and you see, okay, no one's there. Then you move forward, and you always want to check the spots, and you kind of once again scan around the area, or better said the angle, and once again stay far off from it. So what the next spot is would be kind of here. No one's there. You can check right here, and you see nothing's there. And here's the first guy, and you saw I first snapped onto this place and then into this, because my crosshair placement was a little bit off. If he would have been backed up all the way there, he would have been exposed and the crosshair placement would have been right. But since the cover is right here, he of course is staying there. So what you're basically doing is just scanning for there and fire this guy, and then check around, and once again check right here, and you see here's the next guy. Basically checking the common spots really helps if you're trying to actually go for good shots and stuff like that. So you clear the side, and you see the last guys right here, but let's imagine you have a friendly coming up from right here. So what he should do is basically he checks the spot right here first, and then right here, and you basically just, you're not completely moving out, you're always just moving out a little bit, and then falling onto the next side, basically, or better said, the next wall, once again at head height. And once again, they're kind of like right here, or this right there. Half height of this thing is usually about the height of a player, so if you have no clue where to put it height-wise, just use something that's like a big thing and half the height, or something if it's half the height like this, just use like that, or the barrels don't really apply for that. Oh wow, you can actually shoot that. No, don't know what Rip. Oh, he's Rip, okay, of course, that's why he's in there. But yeah, so imagine you would be last guy, and you're kind of trying to go around, you're just scanning for the places right here. And once again, you're just kind of scanning like this, scanning around. Can you see? No. Then to the next wall, scan around, and again, scan around, until you see this guy. And then you win the round. So I hope this tip was somewhat helpful for you guys. It's kind of a follow-up to the crosshair placement, because there are two things to it, and I realized that after my little break from matchmaking, where I didn't play like 2 months straight or so, that you really have to make sure that you're looking with your crosshair. You always want to put it at a place where an enemy could be or close to a wall, and then you want to scan around it, because that's the place where you first will encounter the enemy. Of course, he might be just around here and then kind of jump out like this, but if he's jumping, he should be at a disadvantage, so you just spray and he should be done. But yeah, I think this pretty much wraps it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, feel free to leave a like or subscribe or something similar to this, and like Skillfaker out.